Good morning, everyone, and a very cool welcome on this warm Saturday. So, we are back with our fifth edition of IncubateIND Developer Tech Camp. So, this time we have got yet another workshop as well as the bootcamp series on RPA. So, this would be the second edition. Though, just to give a friendly reminder to everyone, this is a completely new set of technology that we'll be learning. We'll be having with us the speaker for the day, and tomorrow as well, we'll be having the entire mentor panel who would be helping you throughout. And we'll be doing a lot of activities. So, whether it is learning new things, exploring new ideas, as well as interacting with new people and getting to know what the technology is all about. So, this is what we will be doing today as well as tomorrow. So, without wasting much of time, just let me give a quick intro for all those who have just joined and are new to Incubate IND Developer Tech Camp. So, Incubate IND Developer Tech Camp is a series of tech camp that we keep on doing. We try to do it every weekend, but some way or the other, we try to inculcate or encourage the students to come and be part of us, in which we cover technologies, whether it is GitHub, whether it is robotic process automation, whether it is AI, ML, AR, and we have got lot of many developer tech camps lined up for the next couple of weeks as well as so. So we do have tech camps on AR, we have tech camps on coding, we have tech camps on uh, different search options. But today we all have gathered here to understand what robotic process automation is and how it is actually integrating with the AI out there. Because again, if anything is associated with AI, its value increases 10 times or 10x, and then add automation to AI. So that's the new thing that we'll be learning today. And just imagine the possibilities that you could achieve when we are talking about automation and AI being brought up together. So at one end, you have got the thinking capability of a human. At the other, you have got the power of automating it. So basically, you are creating a huge combination. Who knows that they may be conquering us someday if someone builds that great of our AI plus automation. So I just like that without wasting much of time. I just welcome Nisar Kadam, who is our senior consultant at Wonderbots and a UiPath MVP. So that speaks a lot for his profile. I do not need to speak even a word post this, cause a UiPath MVP and then a senior consultant at Wonderbots speaks it all. So with this, let's just get started. I could just share a quick intro on about what the day would be like, what we'd be doing throughout the process, what all things that we would be covering, and then I could just call upon Nisarg onto the stage, I'd say so. So today, as we have gathered over here, we'll be trying to understand the entire process of RPA, since we have done a little bit of discussion in the previous edition as well, though we will be covering up certain basic concepts of it. Then moving on how AI could be integrated, how we'd be using different other tools which are present with UiPath, that is the AI center of UiPath. We have got certain special recommendations from UiPath. So those are the benefits that we'll be talking about. Currently, we'll be going through the entire workshop. Then Nisarg would be providing you with a challenge wherein we would be discussing the challenge, we'll be working upon it. Then obviously there would be a day one checkpoint. So that it's pretty similar for those who are joining in for the second time or the third time or even the fifth time maybe. So the process is same. We'll be having a day one progress check. We'll be meeting again tomorrow at the same time. We'll be uh, understanding newer concepts. We'll be diving deeper into RPA with AI and Python. Then again, Nisarg would be providing us challenges, and there would be certain top 10 or top 5 who would be awarded with goodies from UiPath. So this is all that we'll be doing, and nothing apart from this. We'll try to understand more and we'll try to communicate more with the students. So this is it. I'd not like to waste much of time. So I just call upon Nisarg. So hi Nisarg, how are you?
Hi Kaushik, thank you so
Yeah,
much
hi.
for such a wonderful platform.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's pleasure hosting you every time when you come up onto the stage and just try to inculcate the knowledge of RPA and telling the world how important RPA has become today. And even post a pandemic, while everyone is focusing toward automating things, what important role it could play. So definitely looking forward to learning a few things from here as well, myself counting into it. So thank you, Nisarg. Thanks a lot. And once again, giving a intro of Nisarg. Nisarg is a senior consultant at Wonderbots as well as a UiPath MVP. So let's just get as much knowledge as we can from him and try to understand the entire concept. So I'll just take a leave. Over to you, Nisarg.
Thank you so
It's
much,
all
Kaushik.
yours. Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and I'm really glad to be back on this platform. Thank you so much, IncubateIND, for such a wonderful platform and encouraging students to learn latest and new technologies that are coming up in the market. And being talking about today's point or today's teaching that we are going to learn is going to be really interesting because we are going to learn about AI. How can we integrate AI with RPA? I know RPA is one of the top technologies right now in the market, and AI is also one of the top technologies in the market. Now, when we talk about AI, there comes a lot of technologies under AI, such as machine learning, such as conversational AI, such as chatbots, which are nothing but conversational AIs. Then there is NLP, and then there are so many things which comes under the branch of AI. But when we talk about AI plus RPA, what are the actual need to integrate RPA and AI? That's what we should first of all consider about, and that's what we should first of all think about. Now, those of you which might have attended the previous session of RPA, they already know about what is RPA and how to use it. But those who don't know about it, don't worry, we are going to still learn it from scratch. So without wasting time, let's go ahead and let's get started with our today's session. I will start sharing my screen. Wonderful. So first of all, before wasting time or without wasting time, we will think about what is the factor which brings AI and RPA together. So we are going to talk about the tool, which is one of the best RPA tools in the market right now, UiPath. UiPath is one of the best RPA platforms and one of the best automation platforms available in the market right now. In UiPath, you have a product called as UiPath AI Center, which will allow you. So let me just bring you this product, which is UiPath's AI Center, which will allow you to integrate AI with your RPA robots. Now, how does it actually work? So let me just tell you very quickly. This is the UiPath's fully automated end-to-end platform. Now, in this UiPath fully automated end-to-end platform, we have certain phases of automation, which are nothing but discover, build, manage, run, and engage. Now, in the build, manage, run, and engage, we can see that AI Center comes in a part where manage comes into picture. Now, RPA has an end-to-end automation journey. RPA is not only about automating a single automation piece and delivering it into production, but RPA is about automating each and every step, and which includes the entire project development lifecycle, where UiPath is only the first one in the market to bring in fully automated enterprise, which we are looking at on screen right now. So the phase of automation contains discover, where we have automation hub, task capture, process mining, task mining, where task mining is AI-enabled product. Then in the second phase, which is build phase, we build the robot using UiPath Studio, Studio X. We use document understanding, automation ops, or marketplace to use reusable components. We have Orchestrator, AI Center, test suite, data service, and insights in the manage. And then we have robot and attended robots to run the process what we automate, and to engage, we have UiPath apps, assistant, action center, and chatbot. Now, what is UiPath's AI Center? So AI Center is nothing but which brings RPA and AI together. So RPA doesn't learn on its own. Earlier, RPA was known as only automating the repetitive steps. However, eventually, if you can integrate fuzzy logic or human brain logic to RPA, then the automation scalability is vast. You can automate so many things if you bring in AI and RPA together. It needs to be it needs AI for its robot to learn new skills. Now, if our robot starts learning from experience, the robot keeps getting smarter, and our tasks of automation that we have to automate keeps getting much and much faster and accurate. RPA, what is the role of RPA in this picture? So RPA collects data from any disparate source and processes it and brings in the input data. But RPA can only automate simple tasks, while AI can find patterns, insights, complex decisions from the data, but needs process data from disparate sources. Now, if both of them come together, the potential of RPA is going to be vast. And when they paired with AI, it is almost limitless. Scale the impact of your automations with AI enhanced robots. And that's why AI Center is really important. Now let's go ahead and let's look at how exactly it functions, or what is the functionality of AI Center. The functionality of AI Center, as you can see on screen, the first thing that you have to do is choose a model and then go ahead and deploy it on AI Fabric. Then just simply drag that AI Fabric ML skill into your workflow and start using it. It is as simple as that. So if you might be wondering that if we want to learn AI Center, then we might have to have a prerequisite of Python or machine learning. But in this case, you don't have to have any prerequisite of Python or machine learning related knowledge. All you need to know is how to use this AI Fabric, which already has a couple of awesome predefined automation machine learning models. And then you can simply use those models and you can deploy them. Now, before we move forward with how exactly our AI Center works, I am going to show you from scratch how to get started, how to download the tool, how to connect the robot, how to enable your enterprise, and then we can get started. So I hope you have understood this simple diagram, which is a very, very nice ideation for how to deploy a model. Now let me go ahead and let me get started once again. So, okay, perfect. So the next slide, we have AI capability. Now, what is the capability of AI? First of all, you cannot determine an outcome with 100% certainty. So that's where comes into picture AI, where you have property valuations, you have loan defaults, you have inventory forecasts. So such use cases can be automated very easily. High variability. Wherever there is a high variability in the data, or there is there are so many rules for a specific task, then AI comes into picture. For example, resume matching, purchase decisions, language translations. And when we talk about unstructured data, for example, invoices or any utility bills, also email routing and speech to text, for all such unstructured data, high variability and uncertainty, we can definitely use AI, and that's where AI comes into picture. Now, before I move forward with the presentation, let's quickly have a look at how you can get started with UiPath, how you can connect your UiPath robot, and then how you can apply or how you can use or enable AI Center. So let's go ahead to our presentation. Okay. So all you have to do is navigate to uipath.com. Now, when you navigate to uipath.com, which is the official website of UiPath, you can see there is a try UiPath for free option on the top right corner. All you have to do is click on this try UiPath for free. And when you click on this, you will automatically go ahead and land on cloud.uipath.com, where you can create your account, or you can continue if you have already account. Now, in order to use AI Center, I would prefer you register here with your college email ID and not the Gmail ID. It's because we need to apply for enterprise trial license in order to use AI Center. So I prefer all of you to register here with your college IDs, college email IDs, or if you're working in companies, I prefer you log in with your company email IDs. Perfect. So with that being said, once you register, once you sign up, you will automatically land on a cloud platform just like this. You will see a cloud platform Once you register, you will have to confirm your email. Once you confirm your email, you will land on a cloud automation platform, which looks just like this. You might not have all these options enabled, but you might have home, admin, and automation store. Now, once you land on this page, all you have to do is a very simple step. So this is nothing but cloud.uipath.com, which is the automation platform. When from UiPath website, you opt in for free trial edition, your cloud automation platform will be automatically created. A cloud account will be created for you. Now you have to do is you have to download UiPath Studio from here. Once you download UiPath Studio, simply you have to search for UiPath Assistant. Once you download and install UiPath Studio, you have to install. Once you install, you have to search for UiPath Assistant. Now, as you can see on screen, my UiPath Assistant is already connected. It is green. So you have to navigate to Preferences. And in Preferences, in the Orchestrator settings, you simply have to enter the URL of the Orchestrator and click on Sign In. And it will automatically connect your robot with the automation cloud. Now, how to get this URL? So how to get this URL? It's a very simple step. Let's have a look at it. Once you log into Automation Cloud, all you have to do is click on Admin. Once you click on Admin, you have to click on Licenses. Now, as you can see on my screen, I have Enterprise Trial License enabled. So for those who don't have the Enterprise Trial License enabled, they will see here, Apply for Enterprise Trial License. Now again, I'm telling you, you will be able to apply for Enterprise Trial License only when you have registered with your college email IDs or company email ID. Do not use Gmail, because Gmail will not let you apply for Enterprise Trial Licenses. Now, once you have Enterprise Trial License enabled, all you have to do is just click on this button. There it will be a button saying Enable Enterprise Trial License. Once you click on that button, once you fill in the details, your Enterprise Trial License will be automatically enabled. Then you have to do is navigate back to Tenant, and you will have a default tenant. But this time you have to create a new tenant. So you have to click on Add Tenant. You have to give it a name. Once you give it some name, you select the region, and then in this case, you have to enable AI Center for the new tenant. Always remember, wherever you enable your enterprise license, do not enable AI Center for the default tenant. You have to create a new tenant and you have to enable the AI Center right here. If you want to opt in for more features or more products of UiPath, you can opt in here and you can click on Save to create a new tenant. As of now, I have already created a tenant called as Wonderbox. Now, as you can see here, if I click here, I can see that I have two runtime AI robots. Now, each AI robot, a single AI robot, is capable of handling 2 machine learning ML models. So that means if we have 2 AI robots, we are capable of creating 4 machine learning ML models. So isn't that great? But yes, you have to create a new tenant in order to assign the AI robots, enable the AI Center, and once you enable that, you can see the Orchestrator button right here. Now let me repeat it very quickly. So what we did is we navigated here on cloud.uipath.com. We downloaded the UiPath Studio. Then what we did is we navigated to admin. We clicked on licenses. We enabled the enterprise trial license. Now when you enable the enterprise trial license, post that you have to navigate back to tenants. You have to click on add tenant. Once you add the tenant, while adding the tenant, you have to enable the AI Center. And remember, you have to create a new tenant and do not enable AI Center in the default tenant. Now, once you create a new tenant, all you have to do is make sure that there are 2 AI robots assigned to the specific tenant so that you can leverage all AI robots you have available with the enterprise license. Now, once you enable this tenant, simply click on the orchestrator of the newly tenant that you have created. Now, once you navigate here, you are on the page of UiPath Orchestrator. Now, on the page of UiPath Orchestrator, all you have to do is copy the URL from the URL navigation bar. Copy the URL till orchestrator, which is /orchestrator. Copy this URL, navigate to your UiPath assistant. In the UiPath assistant, in the preferences, you have to connect your robot, and then click on orchestrator settings and enter your service URL here and click on sign in. And that will automatically sign you in. It will automatically redirect to a web page which will ask you to open UiPath. That will automatically sign you in and connect your robot with the machine. So I hope how to connect with the machine problem is resolved now, and now we are connected with our UiPath Orchestrator tenant. And here, when you click on tenant, when you click on robots, you can click on user sessions and you can see that your current session is available and your machine is connected. Now, once everything is connected, let's navigate to our UiPath AI Center. So let's click on AI Center. You can see AI Center on the left-hand ribbon when you have enabled AI Center for the specific tenant. Now, as you can see on my screen, AI Center has been enabled here, and I already have 3 projects, which is intelligent Q&A bot, object detection, and restaurant feedback automation. Now, I know you all are excited to know how this actually works. So just for showing you how actually to create an AI Center project, let's click on create a project. So I will click on create project on the top right. I will give it a name as sentiment analysis. Now I will give the project description as sentiment analysis or anything that you want to give. And then I will simply click on create. So I have given the project name. Now, as soon as I have given the project name, you can see on screen, we have so many options available right here on the AI Center project. Now, within this so many options available, we have dataset, data labeling, ML packages, pipelines, ML skills, and ML logs. Now, it is going to be very interesting because this everything is very simple to understand. Now, let's go ahead and look at what is dataset. So, datasets is needed when you want to retrain a specific machine learning model. Only for retrainable machine learning models, you will need to upload dataset. I will show you how to do that. Let's go ahead and look at data labeling. So data labeling is used for labeling the document understanding ML models. But now we are not using document understanding, so we will skip this part. Let's jump on ML packages. Now in the machine learning packages, in the ML packages, you have 2 options, which is either you upload a zip file or you create out of the box ML package. Now, in order to create out of the box ML package, you have so many options available. So click here and you can see you have UiPath in-house packages, which is document understanding and task mining. And apart from that, you have so many open source machine learning models. Now, this is going to be even more interesting, is because you don't have to write any machine learning code here. All you have to do is just select a model. Let me know in the comment section how excited you are to know how this actually works. So in the open source packages, we have language analysis, language comprehension, tabular data, language translation, and image analysis. Now we can select anything from this open source packages. Now let's go ahead and let's look at what exactly language analysis contains. So language analysis contains English text classification, French text classification, language detection, named entity recognition, sentiment analysis, and text classification. So these all the models are available by default, and you don't have to code any of this machine learning model. Let's come out of the packages. We have language comprehension, where we have question answering model, semantic similarity, text summarization model. So question answering model, if you click on any of the model, you can see the description of the model. What is the machine learning model all about? What is the input data that it accepts? And what is the output that it shows? And then whether this model is retrainable or non-retrainable. If the model is retrainable, then all you have to do is you have to upload the dataset and retrain the model. But if the model is non-retrainable, then you do not need to upload the dataset in order to retrain the model. So this is how you can click and select the model, but we have created for sentiment analysis. So let's quickly go back and look at what are other models we have. So we have tabular data, which is TPOT AutoML regression and AutoML classification, which is again a really good model to use. This model automatically selects the best machine learning algorithm for you. Language translation. So we have English to French, English to German, English to Russian, and German to English. All 4 language translation models, which are going to be really amazing and which you can use for creating chatbots, or you can utilize this for creating a conversational AI for your international communications. And finally, we have image analysis, where we have image moderation, object detection models. Now let's go ahead and let's have a look at how to create a ML skill. So for this, what we have to do is we have to select language analysis, and we are going to select sentiment analysis model. Now, once we select this model, it says input description is it is saying input description is text to be analyzed, and output description is a sentiment which could be very negative, neutral, positive, or very positive. Now, once you come here, all you have to do is check the latest version of the package and click on submit. Now, once you submit, you have to give it a package name. So you can give anything. I am giving a package name as sentiment. So I will just simply say sentiment here, and then we will click on submit again. Now the ML package is created. Right now, the status of the ML package is undeployed because we have not deployed it on the AI center. We have not deployed it on the orchestrator. What we will do is, once we create this ML package, let's go to the next step, pipeline. Now, pipeline is required only in case if you are using a retrainable machine learning model. But we don't have a retrainable machine learning model. We are using a non-retrainable machine learning model. That's where we will directly go to the next step, which is ML skill. And in the ML skill, we will click on create new. We will give it a name as sentiment. We will choose the ML package which we just deployed. We will choose the package major version. We will choose the package minor version. If you want to enter any skill description, you can give it here. And then you have undeploy skill after period of inactivity. If you're not using this, you can undeploy it. You can enable GPU if you have a GPU license bought in your organization. But right now in the trial edition, we do not get any GPU, so we can't enable this. Auto update also you can enable if you want to automatically, if you want to set the auto update always enabled. Now, once you create this, simply click on create, and the ML skill will be deployed. Now, the status of the ML skill is right now deploying. The latest version is 2.0, and the deployed time stamp is also printed here. How many predictions you have done right now? By now, you can see here 0 predictions you have done till the time. And let's navigate to ML logs, which will show you logs of each and every step that you have performed during the entire journey. I hope you understood the entire journey of how to create a machine learning model or how to deploy a ML skill on Orchestrator. I will repeat very quickly for an abstract. So all you have to do is, once you come to AI Center, you have to create a project. Once you create a project, if you are using non-retrainable machine learning model, you can directly use ML packages. You can select the model from out of the box packages, and you can create ML skill. If you have a retrainable machine learning model, you can upload the data set. You can select the ML package. You have to retrain the model and then upload it as an ML skill. Now, I will show you how to do that. But before that, let's go ahead and let's see how this sentiment will be reflected in our orchestrator. So let me navigate to admin. And here, we will navigate to our orchestrator. Now, in our orchestrator, let's have a quick look at the tenant. So click on the tenant. Now, once you click on tenant, you can see the options here in the orchestrator saying ML skill. So click on ML skill and you can see all the models that you have deployed till the time. So I have created intelligent Q&A bot where there are 2 predictions made with this robot. I have created object detection bot ML package, restaurant feedback ML package, which is a retrainable model. And just now we deployed sentiment analysis, which we would not be able to use in our workflow is because this particular model we have just deployed and all the other models are still in the available state. So I hope you understood how to create an ML skill. And this is how simply you can use machine learning in Orchestrator and in RPA. And now let's go ahead and let's look at how simply we can create any workflow or how simply we can use any machine learning model in our UiPath workflows. So let's quickly navigate to our UiPath Studio. Let me open a new UiPath Studio. And in the meantime, while it is opening, let's have a look at the things that we have missed. So let's see from the current slide. And so we have seen the capability of RPA. And now what we have to look at is we have to look at what is AI skill or what is ML skill that we just deployed. So we have deployed an AI skill, which is nothing but the deployed ML model. So all you have to do is robot learns a new skill very fast. So you simply have to select the ML model and you have to deploy it on the ML skill as we have seen just now. Now, what are the steps? So the first thing that we saw is we deploy it. Then once you deploy it, you consume it. Consume in the sense you use it in UiPath workflow. Then you manage it and then you improvise it over the period. You can retrain the machine learning model. Now, the step in which we thought about deploying it. So how do we deploy a ML model? So we used a very easy to use interface and secured environment, which automatically and which very easily uploaded our ML package and deployed a new AI skill. Now, what you can do, you can upload your own machine learning models also. You can select out of the box machine learning models, and you can use pre-built custom models from UiPath partners. So you have so many options available using AI Center. Now, in order to consume it, you can easily discover AI skill from activities in UiPath Studio. You can drag it in your RPA workflow. You can select this AI skill from a dropdown and then simply use the single AI skill for thousands of robots that are connected to your orchestrator. So one ML skill can be used for n number of robots that are connected to your orchestrator. Then we come to the part of manage. So this end-to-end visibility across your entire team, anybody can use it, RPA developer, data scientist, executives. You have a simply manageable version control of each and every robot and ML skill. Ability to revert to the previous version is also there for your machine learning models. You can monitor the ML model consumption, where we just saw that we can check how many predictions we have already made with our ML skill. And you can satisfy governance compliance requirements with this. How do we improvise the ML model? Once you create a machine learning model, you can bring in human in the loop, which can handle the exceptions, validate the data, and retrain the machine learning model. And you can constantly keep on improving your machine learning model over the period. And with this, it creates more accurate results. Now, I hope you have got a very nice idea of how we can use UiPath AI Center and how we can deploy deploy machine learning models on AI Center. Without wasting time, let's start with our UiPath Studio development. So what I will do is I will simply click on UiPath Studio. I will create a new process, which will say restaurant sentiment. And I will click on create. So as I have clicked on create, I am creating a new workflow. So this is how UiPath Studio, which is a developer platform, looks like, which you have to download on your laptop. You have to install, connect with your orchestrator, which UiPath assistants connect with your orchestrator. Now, once you open UiPath Studio, this studio is nothing but a tool or a platform where you can develop your models, and it is very easy to use. Now, let's click on this open main workflow. As I have clicked on this open main workflow, I can see a blank canvas where I can create my machine learning model. Now, all I have to do is on the left hand side, you can see a project panel. On the below, you can see activities panel. You simply have to click here and drag a flowchart. Type in flowchart and drag this flowchart to the center, exactly where it says drop the activity. So I will drop it here. I will double click and open this flowchart. Now, I have to use machine learning model within my AI center, within my UiPath Studio. In order to do that, I have to download a dependency. So how to download a dependency? I have to click on Manage Packages. So I will simply click on Manage Packages. Now on the Manage Packages, I have to click on Official, and I simply have to type here ML. Now, as soon as I type ML, you have an activity called as uipath.mlservices.activities. So I will simply click here. I will say install and say save. With this, I am automatically able to download the dependency for ML service. Now it is creating a workspace. As you can see on screen, it is downloading the dependency. And once it downloads the dependency, you can check that dependency in the project panel. Let's navigate to the project panel, and you can see we have downloaded ML services. Now, in order to communicate with ML services, we also need another package which is called as Web API or Web Services. So click on Official again and download a package called as uipath.webapi.activities. I will simply say install and save. So I have downloaded two packages now. First package is uipath.mlservices.activities. The second package is uipath.webapi.activities. Now it is still loading, it is adding the dependencies, and soon it will be downloading. And downloading is done. Now, as you can see on screen, we can drag ML skill within this workflow. How? As you already know, we have connected our UiPath assistant with the orchestrator. So whatever ML skill that we have deployed in the orchestrator, you can utilize that in UiPath Studio. Now we have to simply type ML here in the activities. As soon as I type ML in the activities, you can see that I have an activity called as ML skill. I have to simply drag this ML skill here in the workflow. I drag it here in the center. Now I will simply connect it with the start node and say save, and double click on this ML skill to see what all things are available. So I have connection mode, which is either robot or endpoint. You can connect it with the robot, you can connect it with the API. Now you can see there is a search, which also refresh button. So if I refresh here, I can see all the models which are deployed on my AI, on my orchestrator. As you can see, let's quickly navigate back to our orchestrator. So we had three models which are available, which is intelligent Q&A, object detection, restaurant feedback, and sentiment is still getting deployed. So these three models are available, and that's where on the UiPath Studio we can see three models, which is intelligent Q&A, object detection, restaurant feedback. I will again repeat how to download the package. You have to click on Manage Packages on the top ribbon, click on Official or select Official, and here you have to type ML, which is nothing but uipath.mlservices.activities. Also, you have to download a new package, which is Web API. So you have to type uipath.webapi.activities and download both the packages. Click on it and you will see the download button here. And that's all. Now, once we have these packages here, you can see from the drop down in the ML skill. So I will select one, which is restaurant feedback. I will simply click on test skill. I can test the skill on the spot right here before I use it in my workflow. So I will simply pass an input. Now what is this restaurant feedback machine learning model, which I have deployed first of all? So this machine learning model is nothing but a retrainable model. This model is an English text classification ML model, which I have trained with the restaurant feedbacks. Now, in order to do that, let's click on test scale and let's type any input data. Now, how would you give any certain feedback to any restaurant? Anyone in the chat section, quickly tell me any feedback, a short feedback for a restaurant if you visit any restaurant. I will definitely enter it here in the select input and let's see what we can predict and what our machine learning model predicts. Quick, quick, quick. I am expecting in the chat section at least one feedback for any restaurant that you want to give. Okay, so I have a feedback from Tilotama Pawar. We have a feedback simply saying tasty food. Okay, so let's see tasty food. And I will simply say test skill, and it will predict in the output saying that prediction is yes, it is a positive feedback. And the confidence of the positivity is 99.59%. It comes with a 0 prefix, but it is 99.59% accurate that it is a positive feedback. Okay, we have a couple of more comments. So let's try with one more comment as delicious food. Okay, so we have delicious food comment, and we will test the skill. And you can see again the prediction is yes, it is positive, right? So prediction is positive and confidence is 99.80%. That means 99% again. Now let's try a negative feedback here. Okay, so negative feedback I will try. I did not like the pizza. Simply saying that I did not like the pizza, and I will simply say test the skill. So is it positive? No. So prediction is no, it is not positive. And the confidence is 98.10 that it is not a positive response. So that's how easily you can predict a sentiment from the restaurant feedback. Now we have a couple of more comments in the chat section, so I'll pick one of it from Srishti. Srishti says dissatisfied. So let's say dissatisfied with the service. I'll just add on something to it, Srishti. So dissatisfied with the service. And I will simply say test the skill. Now, as I will say test skill, it says prediction is no, it is not a positive response. And it says confidence is 74. So with the 74% accuracy, it is saying that it is a negative feedback. Okay, somebody is saying try yummy. Okay, this is for the last one. So I try yummy food. Let's see what it says, whether it is a confidence positive feedback or a negative. So yes, Pradeep, it is a positive feedback with a confidence of 99.69% of accuracy. So perfect. Now that we know that our machine learning model is working, so what we have to do is we have to pass input and we have to extract the output from this machine learning model. Now, in order to pass the input, we have directly dragged the ML skill. So what I will do is I will first of all disconnect it. I will add an input dialog before I pass the ML skill. So I will simply say input. I will drag the input dialog right here. I will connect it with the start node. Input dialog is an activity which takes input from user and which will pass that input to ML skill. Now what we will do is in the input dialog, we will just say dialog title is nothing but the feedback. Input label is again enter the feedback here. And the label or the value where the output will be stored, we will create in the properties panel in the output result. We will create a variable, right click and create a variable called as feedback, or you can give it any name that you want. So I will enter and I have created a variable called as feedback. Now this variable, if you click on the variables panel, you can see this variable is of type string and the scope is flowchart. So this is a string type, and we want the string type variable. So we will go back and we will pass this input data, which is feedback, to this item, which is an input item. As an output of this machine learning model, we will create a variable called as ML output. Now, the output format is a JSON response. So in order to get the data from the JSON response, we have downloaded one more package, which is Web API. So we will drag an activity called as deserialized JSON. Remember the name of the activity? The name of the activity is called as deserialized JSON. So we will drag it here, and here we will say the ML output. Deserialized JSON. So we will pass ML output, which was the output of this ML skill. We have passed it here in the deserialized JSON, and we will create an output variable as ML object. Now let's check the variable panel. So feedback is the variable which we created. ML output is the variable which ML skill is giving as an output, and ML object is the variable which we created as a JSON object in order to get the data. Now, once you write the JSON object, all you have to do is drag assign activity. So I will simply drag here assign activity. I will type here the prediction, enter, save it, and this prediction is nothing but the ML object in bracket, the name of the parameter which you want to extract. Okay. Now, if you want to extract the parameter, let's have a look at what is the parameter. So click on ML skill, click on this test skill. As you entered here any feedback, so let's say I entered ambience was not good. I will click on test skill. If it says ambience was not good, so prediction is one of the parameter and confidence is another parameter. As you see in the output, this is a JSON formatted output. We want to extract value from this output. In order to extract value from this output, I will copy these parameters. So let's copy these parameters and let's store it in some notepad. So let's copy this and we'll store it in a notepad. Now we will use the first parameter, which is prediction. Copy it, come here, in the flowchart, and in the assign activity, we will say ML object, bracket, double quotation, prediction, dot to string. So this is our first parameter. And the second parameter is going to be our confidence, correct? So we will create one more variable here where we will name it as confidence. And the confidence variable, we will get it again from ML object. How to get it? So ML object in bracket, what is the second parameter for the confidence? We have confidence parameter. So we will copy this and we will put here in the ML object and we will make it dot to string. Perfect. Now we have prediction and confidence, both the outputs. We have input, we have passed our input from user. It will automatically predict the sentiment from this particular feedback or the response from this feedback, whether it is positive or not. We will deserialize the output. We will get this both values in prediction and confidence. And now what we will do is let's try to print as of now for our own output verification. In order to print, what I will do is I will say message box. So I will drag a message box right here below assign. In the message box, I will type that statement is positive and whether the statement is positive is written in the prediction variable which we just assigned. And then we have one more thing which is confidence. So we will say accuracy confidence is, and we will print a variable of confidence here. What I have done is I have just concatenated the string in the message box. I have concatenated it Wherever I am hard coding the text, I'm just keeping it in double quotation. Wherever I'm passing a variable, I'm keeping it in variable. Again, a double quotation string and a variable, just like a object-oriented language. Now I have connected it with the message box, and that's it. So within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, within 6 activities, we are using a machine learning model. Isn't it fun? So let's go ahead and let's try to run the bot. So I will simply click on the top left corner where it says run, and I will click on the run. So let's see how it exactly runs. Now it is running the bot, and we have our input data. So input pop-up is saying enter the feedback here. So I will enter the feedback saying that I love the food service. I will visit next time. Simple. I love the food service. I will visit next time, and I clicked on OK. Now our machine learning model is running in background, and it has already given the output saying that statement is positive, yes, and the accuracy of confidence is 99.90%. So this is how easily we just used a machine learning model in our UiPath workflow. Let's run it again. So in order to run it again, either you can create a reusable or loop right here. How do we loop it? So you can loop it with the input data again, and you can loop it to the beginning. But you can reuse it again, and let's see a negative statement. So let's run it once again, and let's look at a negative statement this time. So I did not like spicy food. Improve. There's a chance of improvement, and I will click on OK. Now, once I say OK, it says the statement is positive, no, and the accuracy of confidence is 91%. It is sure that it is not positive statement. So this is how easily you can use machine learning within UiPath RPA. Now, what was the model that we are using? So the model which we were using was a reusable machine learning model. Now, how to use a reusable machine learning model, and what was the data? So I will give you this task tomorrow, but let me show you how exactly you can retrain a machine learning model. So I have a test set and I have a training set. Now the test set, if I open, the test set contains the set of all the feedbacks which are given here as input. And in the target, I'm giving the output as yes or no. And there are how many total rows? There are total 121 rows which I have given for training. So 121 rows of data for training, and test set I have given, sorry, the test set is 121 rows, which we saw. And the training set, let's have a look at the training set, how much data we had in the training set. So we had overall 480 data in the train set. We have 480 data in the training set. Now, when we have a training data and testing data, what I did is let's go ahead and let's have a look at the AI Center. In the AI Center, when I wanted to create a retrainable machine learning model, all I did is uploaded the data set here in the dataset section as test data and train data. Now the training data and testing data is, you can create a folder here, you can upload a folder here, you can upload this training data and test data. Once you upload this data from the machine learning packages, out of the box packages, go to language analysis, and I have selected the English text classification model. This model is a retrainable machine learning model. That's where we had to upload the data set. Now this retrainable machine learning model I selected, I deployed the model, which you can see right here, the model is deployed. Then you have to retrain the machine learning model because it is a retrainable model. We have uploaded the data set. You have to click on pipeline. Now in the pipeline, all you have to do is you have to create two pipelines. So the first pipeline that I created was training the data. The second pipeline I created was evaluating the training data. The first pipeline, train data, how to create? Click on create new, select the pipeline. You have 3 pipelines available, out of which you have to select training pipeline, choose the ML model, choose the package version, choose the lower package version. Now from the data set, you will have to choose either test data or train data. So when you train it, you have to select the train data set. And then simply you have to click on create and run. And then once your training pipeline is completed, you have to simply similarly run the evaluation pipeline with the test data set. But while running the evaluation pipeline, you have to make sure that if you select the evaluation run, the minor version you have to select as, let me choose the package. So the minor version you have to select as 1 and not 0, because your model is already trained. So you have to check, or you have to evaluate already trained model, and that's where you will select 1 here. So this is perfect. Now, once you train and once you evaluate your machine learning model, you can see the score or the accuracy with which this model is trained. So this machine learning model is 85.83% accurate, which is the highest accuracy. And you have the duration here. So it took 40 minutes for me to train the machine learning model, and then 10 minutes for me to evaluate machine learning model. And that's where you can see within only 50 minutes of total duration, or within only 1 hour, I was able to train a machine learning model where I don't have to install Python on my machine. I don't have to install any Anaconda on my machine. I don't have to do anything on my machine. Everything is happening on UiPath Cloud Platform. Isn't it interesting? So everything is right here in front of you, and then you have to create an ML skill, which we just created, and we have made a couple of predictions now. So we can see 9 predictions have been made, and you have the status of the ML model is available, and you can see the version of it. So this is how I created the restaurant feedback ML model. You can also use the English text classification, and you can create your own retrainable machine learning model. Now let's have a look at another intelligent bot. Another intelligent bot that we are going to have a look at is intelligent Q&A. The intelligent Q&A is a package where I have selected a Q&A package, which is nothing but in the language comprehension, you have a question answering model. Now, how much interesting this model is? This is one of my favorite models. Now, this model takes input as a paragraph, and you can ask any questions based on that paragraph, and this model will simply answer you all the questions. Yes, you heard me right. So this is a machine learning model which takes input as a paragraph, and no matter how many questions you ask based on that paragraph, the model will keep on answering you all the questions. Let's have a look at and let's quickly try the model. So I have already created this model. Let me close this. I have already created a workflow for this. Okay, now let's go ahead without wasting time. I have trained this ML skill model, and let's see how we can use it in our workflow. So I will simply say run, and I will open one website where I have certain paragraphs where I can test the model. As the model runs, it is asking me to enter the paragraph here. So let's enter this paragraph. Let's enter this paragraph. So what I will do is I will simply copy this paragraph, and I will enter it here. Now it is saying me, it is asking me to ask a question. Now question, Darwin uncovered the theory of evaluation. So I can ask a question, who uncovered the theory of evolution? And I will simply ask this question, So I passed this paragraph as an input, and I asked this question, where it is just simply saying Darwin uncovered the theory of evaluation, and you can see the answer is Darwin. Isn't it fun? So you just passed a paragraph, you passed a question, a random question out of this paragraph, and you got the answer. Now once you click OK, you have 3 options. You can either change the paragraph, you can ask next question, or you can exit out of this model. I will ask the next question based on the same paragraph. So let's ask the next question, which is what can we ask? What can we ask? And yet it is one of the simplest ideas that anyone ever had. I had to pursue it, evaluation, explaining Guys, can you ask any question? Idea of evaluation is probably one of the most important ideas and anyone has ever had. Okay, so I will ask a question. What is one of the most important ideas? Okay, I simply ask this question because this is one of the tough questions. You see, the idea of evaluation is probably one of the most important ideas that anyone ever had. I will simply ask this question and let's see what the model or what the machine learning model returns us as an answer. So the answer is the idea of evolution, and the answer is evolution. So this is how awesome this machine learning model is, which automatically gives you answer based on any question that you ask. Now I will click on OK, and it says next paragraph. So let's choose a next paragraph this time. Choose a different paragraph. Now let's choose this. Let's choose this paragraph. I will copy the paragraph and I will enter the paragraph right here. I will pass it. And now it is asking me to ask a question. Now, if you can see paragraph on screen, anyone in the chat section, just let me know any question and we will pass this question to the bot, ML model. Ask any question based on this second paragraph. Quick, quick, quick. Let's be quick in the chat section. If we don't have any question, I will go ahead with my own question from the paragraph. Anyone? So it says, okay, how are sedimentary rocks formed? Okay. How are sedimentary rocks formed? This question is asked by Reshmi Mehta. So how are sedimentary rocks formed? I will pass this question. And let's see what is the output or the answer. And the answer is sedimentation. Is this the correct answer? So this is the correct answer because sedimentary rocks are formed processed by sedimentation, and our machine learning model responded with the correct answer. Now this, I will click on OK, and you can ask next question. But as of now, let us exit and let's have a quick look at how this bot, how I created this particular workflow. So yes, Pradeep, I will definitely explain the workflow. So see, how I have created this workflow, it is very easy. First of all, what I have done is I have asked, or I have used the input dialog activity to enter the paragraph. So I am asking user to enter paragraph. I am storing that paragraph in a variable called as paragraph. Then I'm asking one more question to user, which is question. Now this question I'm asking, and I'm storing the question of user in a question variable. Now in the input JSON, I'm using a build data table activity. What build data table activity does is build data table activity creates a data table or a skeleton where I have the first column named paragraph, second column named question. What I'm going to do is, as soon as I take input from user, which is paragraph and question, I will create a data table. I will add the data row in the specific data table, which we just took from user. So we got from user paragraph and question, which I added to the data table. And then I simply converted the data table to JSON. So using the activity, all you have to do is download a custom activity called as data table to JSON. So you can simply type here, come here and type this activity, data table to JSON, okay, which is auxiliary bots or auxiliary bits. You can download this activity, which is a custom activity to convert a data table to JSON. Once you download this activity, what you can do is you can convert it to a JSON format. This JSON format we will pass as an input to our intelligent Q&A bot. Now this intelligent Q&A bot takes input in a specific format. This JSON that we are passing contains a open bracket and closing bracket square bracket, which I did not want to pass in input. So I simply replaced it with null, and I passed that input to the input dataset where I have passed a JSON as an input. Now, How do you know what this particular Q&A bot accepts? So let's navigate to our ML model in AI Center. In the language comprehension in the question answering, you can see here in the input description, it shows you which type of input this model accepts. So this model accepts input of such type, which is a JSON file with the first parameter as paragraph and the second parameter as question. So this is what we are creating in our workflow. Okay. Now what we are doing is we are creating this one in our workflow here, and then we are getting the output. And when we get the output, what is the format of the output? So we are getting output format in a format of only answer, and there is no confidence. There is only answer. So we are getting that answer, and then we are printing that answer here. Simply deserializing the JSON, similarly using the JSON object, and we are printing the answer. Once we print the answer, I am asking one more question to user, whether choose a following option, and I'm giving 3 options to user, whether to change the paragraph, go to the next question, or exit. And based on the user's response, if user is saying change paragraph, I will navigate to the beginning of the workflow and I will start from the first activity. And if user says only change question, then I will start with the question activity. And this is how I have created this machine learning model. As simple as that. So this workflow overall is using combination of two input dialog activities, creating a JSON file. Now, what is JSON? JSON is nothing but a format or a type of language which transfers data from one place to another place. Wherever you work with any APIs, it accepts format as either JSON or XML. JSON formats mostly are written in a specific formats such as curly braces and key and pair values. And that's where JSON format comes into picture. You can search about it more on Google and you will get to know how to work with JSON. And simply passing the data to ML skill, getting the answer, and then again one more question, whether to get started with the paragraph or get started with the next question. I have created this simple workflow. Again, this workflow is containing only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 models. Within the 8 models we have created a question answering machine learning model. As easy as that. So I hope you have loved both the models that we have created and both the machine learning models that we have shown on the screen. Now quickly we will navigate, we'll continue with our slide. So what you can see is I have my own YouTube channel, which is Nisarga Kadam on YouTube, which you can search. I have an entire AI Center series available on my YouTube channel, where we have more than 30 plus videos of how to use AI Center in UiPath. And there are so many workflows which are there, such as how to automate ServiceNow, how to enable AI Center, how to use AI Center, invoice document extraction, Slack channel chatbot, Q&A machine learning model is also there on my YouTube channel. How to create from scratch, you can learn it on my YouTube channel. Customer feedback automation, brainstorm prediction, counting people in a supermarket during this COVID period, how to upload ML model, restaurant feedback automation, German tour guide, object detection, profit prediction, identifying sentiments, and diabetes prediction using ML model. So there are so many AI models and how to create this workflows I have uploaded on my YouTube channel. Let me quickly refer you to my YouTube channel. So this is my YouTube channel, which is Nisarga Kadam. You can simply search on YouTube as Nisarga Kadam, and you can see this YouTube channel where I have in the playlist, if you navigate to playlist, there is a playlist which is created. The name of the playlist is UiPath AI Fabric Tutorials. If you open this playlist, you have over 30 videos in this playlist, which are all about UiPath AI Center and how to use this AI Center in effective way. And you can learn here from scratch how to create machine learning models. And also we will learn tomorrow how to use object detection, which is again one of the most important and most exciting AI model available in the UiPath AI Center. So you can go ahead, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can learn from this YouTube. You learn from this all videos, which is available on my YouTube channel. Now, without wasting time, let us navigate to the next slide of the day where we will get to know about UiPath. So if you guys have loved this, how RPA works together with AI, you definitely would love automation. You definitely would love to connect with UiPath community. Now that you have already downloaded, you have completed the first step, which is nothing but automation cloud. So you have completed your first step of downloading the UiPath Studio from the community edition. You can go ahead and register to UiPath Academy, where you can learn a lot, or you can learn different various automation aspects of how to automate using UiPath. Also, you have UiPath certifications where you can perform UiPath certification and get an exciting job in UiPath or RPA domain. You have UiPath Forum, where a huge amount of crowd is supported, where there are more than 1 million professionals in this particular community, which can answer your questions within a few minutes. You have UiPath documentations where you can learn about UiPath more. You have insider preview. You have community events where we all come together and keep performing so many events over each and every month, each and every week. We create so many events where you can learn a lot of new things. We have so many challenges or hackathons also coming in. We have UiPath community blogs and tutorials where you can learn from authors. And if you want to contribute more and if you wish to become MVP just like me, you can keep on contributing to the UiPath community, and based on your recognition, you can get recognized as MVP or forum leader, or there are so many contributions for growing people in RPA domain. So with this, I will say that we have completed our today's session and we are open for questions. Also, what we have to do is, remember, so whenever you are going to complete your task today, so your task is going to be an amazing task this time. Now, what you have to do is, whatever the task that you complete, you have to upload this task on LinkedIn. Now, when you upload this task on LinkedIn, don't forget to tag me, IncubateIND. So let me navigate to LinkedIn very quickly. Now, we will come to the task that you have to complete. Once you complete the task, all you have to do is simply, let me navigate back to my profile. So this is my profile, which is Nisarg Kadam. You have to use hashtags, couple of hashtags, such as you have to use, you have to use hashtag TechCamp. You have to use hashtag IDTC, hashtag Tech for Future. So these are the hashtags that you have to use. And all you have to do is you have to tag me. My name is Nisarg Kadam. You have to tag UiPath, Wonderbots, IDTC, and also you can tag Anuj, who is the moderator, who is one of the moderators on the LinkedIn, and we will keep on following your posts, your updates, that what you have learned from this channel and what you have learned from this platform, and we can see how you have leveraged this particular knowledge. So with this, I will jump again back to the questions, and I will ask Anuj or to enter. Maybe we can go ahead with the question, today's question. So can we disclose the today's question? Okay, we have a lot of questions. So first question we have, how to create custom zip ML model if not listed in out of the box? Perfect, nice question. So we can create a custom out of the box ML model. All you have to do is you have UiPath documentation support. So you have to type here custom ML model UiPath AI Center on Google. And here you have a documentation about AI Center. And in the documentations, you can learn how you can upload custom ML models. And you have so many documents right here about ML skills, about uploading a custom ML model. Now you can type here building ML packages. You see, when you say building ML packages, you can get the entire data of how you can build a ML package custom using Python. But building package, you will need Python to create the package, and then you can upload it on the ML skill. Does that answer your question? Perfect. Is UiPath Academy portal down? UiPath Academy portal is not down. You can log in. You can use UiPath Academy portal and you can learn from it. We have next question. Without using UiPath, can we use RPA? Like by using UiPath Academic Studio. I didn't quite understand the question, Shanin. Without using UiPath, can we use UiPath like Academic Studio? I really did not understand the question. Next question we have from Shruti. Is this video available later on to review? I think yes, this video will be available as an offline video post this event. It will be available. If you have questions, please post in the chat section quickly so we can answer. Or we can move ahead and we can showcase you the task of the day. We have a question from Asif. Can you share the workflow? Definitely, I can share the workflow. I have also shown you my YouTube channel. You can learn it from scratch there, or I can see how I can share my workflow later today. And those of you who have registered, you can get this workflow. IncubateIND will make it sure to send you the details. We have one more question from Mr. Technical Supporter. Is only Python supported for the ML? So yes, only for the custom machine learning models. Right now, Python is supported. You can create, but you can upload any pre-built ML models of your own if you want to. But for the out-of-the-box models, you don't need Python specifically. We have one more question. It says, only CSV data set is enough, or we need data manager to create data set. Now that depends on the machine learning model. This question is from B. Chinmay. So this question is a really nice question. So in case of the machine learning model, which takes input as text or which takes input as CSV format, only for those machine learning models, you have to pass a data set as a CSV file. For example, in case of object detection, you can pass input as labeled images. In case of retraining invoices, you can pass labeled invoices. So wherever you need labeled data, you can use data manager. I hope that answers your question. We have a question from G. Pradeep saying, how is market for RPA? I have 2 years of experience and looking to switch my career in RPA. Pradeep, this is the right time to jump in an RPA market because it is a very huge market and it is going to be amazing. As you can see, it is already integrating with the latest technology in the market, such as AI and ML. It has a very, very huge scope in future. Okay, I will quickly check UiPath Academy as we have a couple of requests. So academy.uipath.com. I will simply continue with Google. So UiPath Academy is working for me. I don't know what is the issue, but for me, it is working fine. As you can see, I can land on the courses, I can check. Kindly refresh, clear your cookies, and you can again see UiPath Academy working fine. I hope that answers your question. Inti Praveen has a question saying no programming language is needed for this. So yes, perfectly. There is not a huge dependency on the programming languages. Occasionally, you would need certain string operations or C# functions may be used in RPA, but not a specific deep knowledge of any programming language is needed. Can we do this by using UiPath Academic Studio as we don't have enterprise trial? This question is from Salman. So Salman, we can't do this only from Studio or only from a trial licenses because you have to download UiPath Studio and you have to enable enterprise license in order to use AI Center. Shaheen has a question. Without UiPath AI Center, can we use RPA? Yes, you can definitely use RPA without AI Center. You can automate n number of things that you want to just by using UiPath RPA Studio platform. Mr. Technical Supporter says, I made a humanoid robot, so I want to use AI for advancement. Okay, I would be more interested in looking into that. You can definitely use UiPath. UiPath would be a perfect option for that. Go ahead, try it out. If you face any issues, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn personally. B. Chinmaya says, I am planning to leverage this ML model to extract tabular data from scanned PDFs. Which ML model would you suggest? If you want to extract tabular data from the scanned PDFs, you would have to use document understanding for that. You have to use a document understanding framework from which you would have to use tabular data extraction fields. This is obviously not a part of AI Fabric or AI Center. You can use document understanding for that. Salman says, does it cost anything to license by enterprise trial? It doesn't cost anything at all, as you have seen, Salman. You get 2 months of free trial edition. You get only 2 months of free trial edition where you can deploy as many models as you want. There is no limitation to that, and you don't even have to give your card details or nothing like that. Don't worry about the paid subscription. Yeah, one more question. When we will get the test data, train data for CSV for the practice? Definitely, I'll make it sure. I'll check with the IDTC team how we can send the data, workflows that I have shown you today. And if I can do that, I will definitely update all the data to you guys. Perfect. So do we have more questions, or we can move ahead with our today's challenge for the day one? Anuj or anyone from the IDTC team, can we move ahead with the challenge? So let's go ahead.
Yeah, we can go ahead with the challenge.
Perfect. So let me show my screen. So this is our challenge of the day one. So the day one challenge is IDTC RPA day one. The challenge is using sentiment analysis machine learning model to extract data from airline review. Now, how this challenge is, all you have to do, I have attached an Excel file here with this Git repository. In this attachment, there is a couple of data. I will quickly show you. So this is the Excel file which you are going to receive from this Git repository. Let it open. This is the Excel file which you are going to receive, where there will be name, feedback, but sentiment and confidence column will be empty in that. Now, what you have to do is, you have to read this Excel in UiPath, and for each sentiment or for each column which is written here in the feedback, for each feedback, you have to identify sentiment of this particular feedback, and you have to update the Excel with the sentiment and the confidence in the sentiment and confidence column, just as it is updated here. And once you do that, all you have to do is separate out only very negative feedback in a different Excel sheet, which says negative feedback, and you have to separate out only very negative feedback. Now, I hope you have understood the question. So the question is, you will receive this Excel file. You have to read each and every feedback from this Excel row. You have to update sentiment and confidence right next to it in the next columns. And then you have to separate out only very negative feedback, and you have to create a separate Excel sheet of that. Now, once you complete this challenge, do record a small video, post it on the LinkedIn, post it on Twitter, tag me, tag IDTC, tag Anuj in the link and in the post. And as I have already shown you, you have a couple of hashtags to follow. Is there anything else you want to add, Anuj here?
No, it's
Nothing.
completely fine.
Yeah, Kaushik, please take on.
Yeah. So, Nishak, is there anything else that you wanna convey to the students, or we are done with the day?
I think we are done.
Okay,
So let
okay.
me stop sharing my screen.
Yes, yeah.
Perfect.
So I hope it was a great session, and definitely it was quite informative. And as usual, we got to learn a few things. So Looking forward to the challenge. Doing the challenge, participants would be doing it definitely. We look forward to having you all tomorrow at the same, not exactly at the same time, but at 12 tomorrow. Meanwhile, if you have got any queries, feel free to tag me, Anuj, or Nisarg over there on Levrise. We'll be more than happy to help you over there with the problems that you are facing, as well as we'll be there throughout. So apart from this, if you've got any queries, any other sort of queries, just feel free to put it up. And that's it. I hope if I have missed out any point, Anuj or Nisarg just put it up. So thank you everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so
And
much,
yes,
Kaushik.
I would just like to add one point. We have your favorite mentors. Last time we had a great interaction with mentors and everybody liked them. So we have Parth Doshi, consultant at Wonderbots, and Piyush Agarwal, RP developer at TCS. So these guys will be helping you out throughout the tech camp, and you can just, you know, ask as many questions as you can to them, and they'll be happy to help you guys.
Yeah, and one more thing, IDTC is growing day by day, so definitely it is all due to the support that we are getting. So I just request a thing: do tag us as and when you feel necessary. Do put up on the social media so that more students can know about it. More students can join us in this initiative, and we can make this as big as possible. Because ultimately, what is a better opportunity to learn from the industry experts, that too over a complete set of weekends. So you get this opportunity over here only at IncubateIND's Developer Tech Camp every weekend. So please, it's a request, let's spread the word out that yeah, we are doing something every weekend, and we are learning about new technologies. And if it goes on well over the courses, we will be definitely having more than 2 tech camps each weekend. So the one which you like, you could just switch over to that. So thank you everyone. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
And
Nisar.
yes,
Yeah.
there's one question which I would like to answer. The deadline to submit the task is today midnight. That's 11:59 p.m. Before that, you have to submit the task, and you will be getting a mail with the GitHub repository link where you'll get all the resources, the steps. You just have to fork the repo, complete the task, upload the screenshot, video, whatever you feel free to upload, and then you just need to generate a pull request. So that's how you will be submitting the task. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks.